Well, I'm excited. I mean, it's a beautiful day. You wake up in the morning. I mean, you can breathe.
Mm.
You can stretch your legs. And you can say the prayers to God to say, Father, thank you for waking me up. I mean, so it calls for thanksgiving and appreciation to God. So Buki is fine, and how are you too? And how is Arlen's family, wherever they are? On the surface of the earth, they greet to, or they hail you. Every one of you, good morning.
All right, good morning to you too, Buki. We are fine. Well, we're good. We're taking it one step at a time, pushing it further, and small, 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 small. Before you know it, we'll do the bigger things one step at a time. All right, so we have the very delectable Susan. Hi, Susan. How are you today?
Hi, Rose. Good morning. Good morning, Madam Buki. Good morning, Madam family. I'm doing fabulous today. I'm very well, thank God. And you?
Well, I'm okay. We're good. Again, it's good to have you join us this morning. So, to be a part of the program, you can go ahead and dial 07000 or 09155 You can also go ahead and send us WhatsApp messages to 0703 or 08155 Those are the numbers to get in touch with us this morning on the program Heartland. All right, so few weeks ago we talked about this this particular criminal law that it has been there, but we didn't know that it's there. Because as for me, when I first saw it, I'm like, so we have something like this, but implementation on it was not just it at all. And we promised that we're going to continue talking about it. So thank God that the Lagos State has actually carried it on and is enforcing it. So hopefully other states will get to do the same. So this is starting in Lagos State, and it says Lagos State has reaffirmed the enforcement of a rarely discussed legal provision. And that day that we talked about it, I think we all agreed that how come nobody's talking about this? Nobody's saying anything about this. We didn't even know. A lot of people don't even know that this we have provision for this. So now this is really discussed, like the report is saying, and it mandates that any man who impregnates a woman outside marriage is to take full responsibility for her welfare until she gives birth. Now, under Section 277 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State, men are legally required to provide food, shelter, and cover medical expenses for pregnant women they impregnate, irrespective of marital status. When a man abandons a woman after getting her pregnant, the law provides for a fine of up to 45,000 naira in addition to full payment of all maternity-related costs. Officials warn that refusal to comply with the court order made under the section may attract further legal consequences. So for now, the provision is applicable only within Lagos State. Okay, and they went ahead to give how to report. So how to report: women who have been abandoned, who are pregnant, and wish to pursue legal action may contact Lagos State Ministry of Justice. Email information is there, phone number is there. The office is at Alausa, Ikeja. Office of the Public Defender, OPD, the website and the number is there, which I think is very good. So hopefully all of the other states will actually pick this up, because let's begin to see people being responsible for the actions they take, because it's more like it takes two to tango. But when the consequences come, you now leave one person to now hold on to the consequences, and then society will make you feel like you are free as a bird. It's not your responsibility. It's not up to you. After all, you start hearing comments like, I didn't say you should get pregnant now. Should be you that one. Just some kind of funny statement. As if it's just one. It's just one person that it takes to get pregnant. Well, let's hear your thoughts on this, because for me, I'm happy that at least the Lagos State government is picking this up and is taking it seriously. Hopefully, we get to have it in other states also. So, Susan, let's start with you on this. What do you think about this? If this one reach Abuja like this, you should say it will spoil matter for some kind people.
Oh God, you can say that again and again. But I also want to give kudos to Lagos State government for
Mm,
taking the lead, you know, and amplifying this because most people do not know. And it is said that information is key.
key.
I like the fact that all the contacts, everything is out there. But I will also encourage them to also cascade this information to the grassroots, to the suburbs.
Mm,
Some people are not on social media and it's happening to them. So we also need to cascade this information to the local communities. That way, everybody will zip up. If you are not ready to father and take care of a child, Ogade, zip up. That is the rule. You will not be distributing children as if you are distributing what I don't know and you are not willing to take responsibility. I mean, who even does that? You had something with someone, and when the person comes out, you're asking, am I the only one? When did I do it? You know all those silly questions. Come
yeah.
on. You know, those things, they don't even make sense. So I'm glad that Lagos State government is amplifying this. But beyond what we have seen, can they cascade it at least to the, is it 6 senatorial districts that we have in Lagos? I mean, 3. You know, cascade it that it even gets down to the grassroots. Let everybody have this information at their fingertips. With that, even when you are coming, I would have told you that, well, tó bá mọ̀ pé you are not ready kó o kó kangare ẹ lọ. I don't have to, me ojúche. I'm not here to come and patronize you and allow you mess me up because I mean, and if you look at it, there's so many people are doing this and getting away with it. So I also see it as an accountability mechanism, you know, where people are held accountable for their acts. You will not just do this and get away and feel, what can she do? When she comes to you, you know, you rubbish her. You even make her feel as if, no, you were not part of the whole thing. It was strictly for her. So for me, I think, yes, it's a laudable one. Let's
Mm,
ensure that the grassroots get this information in the language that they would understand. Not all of them understand the big grammars. If it has to be written in Yoruba, in Pidgin, me, I like grassroots. I like when you cascade information so that even the uneducated will get that information at their fingertips. Let that information be cascaded down so that everyone takes that information forward. The more we spread it, the more people get to hear about it. And men, please do well. If you know you will not take responsibility, please don't go near a woman. It's not by force. You would not admire her, sweet talk her, and then she agrees. I also understand that women should be disciplined. I would not say that women should not be disciplined, but again, we also understand that not all women understand. And some of these men, when they come to you, you think they are sincere, you think they are real, and so you get carried away. You know the pressure is there and everything, but at the end of the day, when they get you, they just throw you off as if you're a piece of trash. No, we should be accountability partners. Let's hold each other accountable. And once more, I want to say a very big kudos to Lagos State government for doing the needful. That is how a government should lead. You know, amplify the voices and let people know the law. We didn't know about these things. We spoke about it some weeks back, and that was even my first time of hearing it. As educated as I am, if I'm just hearing it, now tell me thousands of people who have not heard about it. Now think of those people at the grassroots. They don't have this information. So I want to say a big thank you to Lagos State, and we'll continue to amplify it here on her lens because we don't want any woman to be left behind, whether
mm.
you are in the urban area or at the rural area. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you to Susan for lending your voice to this. And most importantly, cascade down this information down to the because at the end of the day, um the how will I say this? It's the number of times that this happens in the rural areas will is much more than what we get to see in the urban areas. At least even in the urban areas, you find out that a lady could probably be able to take care of herself, and just to move on with life. But for the rural areas, they're just left stranded. And before you know it, you'll find one young girl giving birth to probably, 2 to 3 children, maybe for different people. And all of them will just feel like, you know what, I don't owe this girl any responsibility. I don't owe her anything. She did it for the first place. This was now me, my mom will come be different. So before you know it, it will turn to something else. All right, so this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. It's 20 after 9 right here on the program Harlan. So hey, I don't miss Ibinabo. Buki, let's hear from you this morning on this
Don't worry,
particular
you
issue.
will see Binabo by Thursday. She will show up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
She will
it.
show up in her grand style. She's working, making impact. Okay, so that's fine. Um, these are my own thoughts, and I always like to go back, for people to understand why are we even taking this stand. When you see the statistics of the children in this category, check check them, except where the the mother, comes from a very wealthy home, and they have what it takes to raise, they have what it takes in terms of mental balance, spiritual, physical, and of course money to raise that person. Many a times you find out that they are dysfunctional, the children, they are dysfunctional, and somewhere along the line, though it affects the mother somehow, it affects the mother.
Hmm.
Many of them might not come out to tell you that it affected them, but it did in terms of productivity. I know I'm always talking from the building. How do we build a strong nation that all our citizens are healthy, and in terms of their mental state of mind, I mean, it is good. They are there to make production. They are there to produce, and they are there to add to the brand that we are trying to project for Nigeria. And it is very key because when you look at the family, you have a whole lot of broken homes. The men do not take responsibility. Why? Because
Mhm.
nobody, apart from the fact that most parents do not tell them, they don't train most, or let me just say some. And then, secondly, the law is not even there. Even our curriculum, our teaching, the way we teach, we don't emphasize values. We don't emphasize values. What is bringing me to Abuja now? We're talking about values at the highest level. We have to go back to the basics. That where are the values? Why would I sleep with someone and at the end of the day, that person got pregnant and I walked away? Where are my values? Then, secondly, let's talk about the girls as well. Yes, I know we are pounding on the men.
Hmm.
What about the girls? Where are their values? No, so when I talk about this, I'm not talking from this spiritual whatever. Please, I'm talking about even the fact that as a person, who are you? Do you even have values? Because when we begin to understand these things, when a man comes, a man who does not have values, a man who just wants to be irresponsible, who just wants to just sleep with you yourself will come and say, no, we are not doing this because I don't want to bring a human being into this nation. And this human being, I will not have to raise this human being. I cannot get to the height of what I want to get because I'm traumatized, I'm hot, and this and that. And even the boy or the girl that I'm even bringing will have an unbalanced. And then at the end of the day, I would now expect that person to perform at his or her own optimal maximum efficiency. When you begin to think around that area, you will think to say, you know what, hey, you can do whatever you want to do, but we will not get to that point where we are now producing human beings and adding to the population of Nigeria. So back to that law, I love it. I love it, and we can only say thank you to them for bringing it up, right? But then I also love the fact that they were able to say, okay, if you are in such situation, this is the number and blah blah blah. We can only appeal that even when they get there, they do not shout down at them. They should not make them feel less human. Because at times the government, I mean, wants to do what is right, but the human beings that want to execute it, when you go there and complain, the, I don't expect anybody to come and say, now you're not complaining. When you open your legs and come, you are enjoying it. We don't expect that. That should not even occur at all. And I only hope that they will even put microphone to capture what they are saying. That if any staff should make somebody feel guilty or feel less human or feel whatever it is, that person should be suspended or sacked, because that is not your job. Your job is not to condemn. Your job is, somebody has come to report and you do your job. It is not for you to act like the moral agent or whatever it is that you to why did you open your leg? It is not your job. Your job is to do what you are supposed to do, get the file, and ensure that the person is prosecuted and all that. That's one leg. Then second leg that I see about the law is that, okay, years ago that this was done, we're talking about 45,000, that just in case, the fine of 45,000. What is 45,000 in this day and age?
Exactly.
We thank them, we thank that there is a law like that. So the first thing is, like Susan said, the first thing is, let us even make this thing go around. Let everybody know it. Even to the person who does not even understand English. You understand? In his native dialect, whatever, in Lagos, since he's still in Lagos, you understand? Let everybody know it. And then, of course, let's put on the process to ensure that the execution is seamless. Nobody is stressed out, right? And then nobody jumps, because there's some people say, hey, go and report, nothing will happen. And then at the end of the day, you find out that it is even you that you are the one bearing the problem, because what? Monies have changed hands, mouths have been closed. Somebody just say, don't worry, I'll give you money, just shut that file. And then you'll be going there, they'll say that they can't see the file. They can't see the file. The file is somewhere. And so many things that we hear. And I just hope that the people who are supposed to do this will ensure that. But back to my point, because I don't want to lose this last point that I want to talk about, is the fact that the 45 is small. I love you take care of that person during maternity. I am now concerned about after. It's not just maternity. Somebody has to take care of this person in terms of providing for the needs, because we talk about the child rights. So while we are talking about it, we need to begin to move pressure again, that it's not just 45, it's not just maternity time, but also throughout until the boy or the girl becomes 18. That man must cater for the basic needs of that girl or of that child, and also for education. Because when we begin to do this, many heads will be correct. It is only when your own head is not correct that you will allow these things to be. And I hope that what Lagos State has done will also cascade, to the others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Buki, for giving us your thoughts on this. Because even myself, right from the first day, when I read this, I said 45K. 45K that somebody will go and spend it in less than a few seconds to buy probably one item or something. So 45K, maybe they should actually look into that. But thank God that there's something like this out there. But 45K, I mean, maybe let's look into that, so that we're able to know what we are doing. Maybe if they increase it a bit, it go one make some people sit up and not to do anyhow. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and This is the program Highlands. To be a part of it, you can dial the number 07000 917 917. You can also dial 09155 917 917. And of course, this is we're just looking at the issue that I think we talked about a few weeks back. Yeah, about the provision and the law that says that a man should be held. You can hold a man responsible for impregnating a young woman legally. Okay, so yes, you can actually take the person to court, and there's a fine of up to 45,000 naira that you would pay. In addition to all of the maternity related costs that comes with it, before the birth and even after it. So yeah, this is just to draw people's attention, to let people know that there's something like this out there. And for Lagos, they've taken it seriously. They've given information where to report, how to go about it. The office is in Alausa Ikeja, that's Lagos State Ministry of Justice. The email is there. I'm sure when you Google it, you can go ahead and see it. So for the email is at info at lagosstatemoj.org. That's Ministry of Justice. The email is info at lagosstatemoj.org. The phone number too is there, and they are open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Alausa Ikeja. So please do well to make good use of this information by all means. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is the program Highlands right here on Nigeria's Voice of Women.
Radio 91.7.
Something big is coming with Better Play. Get ready to turn 500 naira into a 200,000 naira daily jackpot. Yes, you heard me right. 200,000 naira every single day. The more tickets you grab, the higher your chances of winning. Stay tuned, because this is the game changer you've been waiting for, coming to you on Women Radio 91.7 FM. Are you ready to play and win big?
Hey, Omo! See package! This is what I call full house.
Yes, sir. That's me. I full.
Who's talking about you? I'm talking about this Peak Yogurt Drink Full House pack in your hand.
The Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House pack with more refreshment contains fresh cow milk. Share and enjoy full house goodness filled with essential vitamins and minerals. Peak. Reach for your peak.
My people, something big don't land, and na money rain dey fall. Better play, better chance. 200k fit enter your hand if you try your luck. Oh, better play, better chance.
Now 3 times every day, them they call winners for radio. Yes, now with just 500 naira, you fit win up to 200,000 naira every single day. Just join the Better Play lottery now and listen for your name for radio. 10 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Better play, no dull yourself. Go get your tickets. Sharp, sharp. Buy them for www.betterplay.ng or just dial *347*154#. You want boost your chance? Buy reach 20 tickets if you want win.
Follow us for Facebook at Better Play and Instagram at Better Play NG to get correct updates. Now your turn to chop this money, oh.
Better play, better chance. You fit be the next lucky banger. Only people when don't reach 18 years fit play. Play responsibly.
Meet Tolu. She moves at the speed of life, and so does her bank.
With First Mobile by First Bank, I send money in seconds.
And with the new biometrics feature, Tolu signs up faster using just her BVN and face recognition. Safe, secure, and super quick.
Plus, I get instant virtual cards for safe shopping online.
Be like Tolu. Bank on the go. Download the First Mobile app today on the Apple and Google Play stores. First Bank. You first.
When I wake up in the morning, I need something to help me start my day. Pick 4, 5, 6 has DHA. It helps my brain to grow. It helps me to be smart. Oh, my own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah.
Jama'a, wani abu babba ya sauka kuma ana zubar da kuɗi kamar ruwa.
Hakika da naira 500 kawai zaka iya cin nasarar har naira 200,000 a rana. Shiga Beta Play yanzu kuma saurari sunanka kai tsaye a rediyo da karfe 10 na safe, karfe 2 na rana da karfe 6 na yamma.
Sai tikitinka a www.betaplay.ng ko danna *347*154#. Kana son karin dama? Zaka iya sayan tikiti har 20.
Ka biyo mu a Facebook @betaplay da Instagram @betaplay.ng don sabbin bayani. Lokacinka ne ka ci wannan kuɗin. Betaplay na buɗe ne kawai ga masu shekaru 18 da sama. Yi wasa cikin hankali.
Lunch vibes. Every music note counts, aligning with lyrics and rhythm. Words soothing to the ears, voices and melodies with the best vibes ever. That is Lunch Vibes on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no big kill my
Women Radio 91.7, breaking the culture of silence.
All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is still the program Her Lens right here on Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. All right, so we just talked about the the Section 227 criminal law that has been activated in Lagos, where it states that if a man impregnates a woman and is not taking responsibility, you can actually make him do that by, taking him to court. Okay, so yeah, let's just be sure. Somebody asked in the comment section of this, saying, okay, the woman that gets pregnant and abandons the man, what then happens to what then happens to her? Well, it's very unlikely that you get to hear such happen. Anyway, so let's move on to another issue right here, and this one will be the issue of domestic violence. Now, it comes in different forms. Why I actually brought this up for us to talk about is that because something similar like this happened. So people hear some of these stories and you would think that no, it's not possible. It can't happen. But here is a man who actually set his home on fire. And, after some time, they later got to realize that it was the man that set his home on fire and left the woman to actually burn inside the home. So apparently, this particular man came up on social media and narrated a story of how his neighbor's house was on fire. So he quickly ran to their flat and started shouting their name. The husband ran out, seeing the matches of the fire. He went back inside, picked their 8-month-old son. Neighbors came out and fire had really engulfed the parlor and kitchen. Now, he said that his elder brother, it was close to his elder brother's house, realized that his neighbor's wife was not outside and asked her husband he looked confused. His elder brother managed to break into the room through the window, and the woman was lying lifeless on the bed. He brought her out, with bonds into her arms and legs and started giving her CPR until she was rushed to the hospital. A month later, this same woman filed for divorce, stating that the husband didn't bother to wake her up and just picked her son alone. It was later discovered after 5 years that it was the man who set up the fire. He did that to probably let the woman burn so that he can just move on with his life. And I'm asking why. Now, something happened was it a month or two? No, I think some early this year. Let me just leave it at early this year. We're just on our own here when we saw the news of a lady that a lot of people knew in our village. We didn't see her obituary pictures. Kilo day, what happened? This woman is a vibrant woman. She's okay, and all of that. And then we just heard that she fell sick. I mean, did she even fall sick? I can't remember the straight story. But all we knew was that the woman went to bed and didn't wake up the next day. Not until months after, we then heard that, no, I think, was it 2 weeks? Not even up to a month after that woman died, the husband went ahead to get married to somebody else. It wasn't up to a month. The man got married to somebody else. And then that was when stories started coming up that the woman has been facing a lot in her home. And the man he had been looking for means to tell the woman to go. But he didn't want it to come from him. So he was frustrating her so that she will go and then he can go ahead and tell people that she's the one that refused to stay in the marriage so that he can actually get married to another woman. And that was the story that came out. So when we hear some of these things, domestic violence comes in different forms, in different ways. If you're not appreciated where you are, be cool. What is the issue? Just carry yourself and leave. We are here. It is a cousin of mine who every day we're telling her that if it's not suitable for you, you better leave. Or let's not come and hear that one day you will go and sleep and you do not wake up the next day. And nobody will look at the man, because as far as he is concerned, he will be the one that will cry the more, because nobody will suspect that he did something to you. Meanwhile, he just wanted to move on with his life. And since he has been frustrating you to leave, but you're still hanging on to the principles of marriage, you want to keep your marriage, and you're still hanging on to it. And this man is still doing you a lot of things so that he can help society to think that you are the one that refused to stay, so that you can go with the shame, and then he can go ahead with his life and get married to somebody else. So I'm seeing a lot of that happening. You don't want the woman, you don't want to stay with her. Why not just come out and say you don't want to stay with her? But no, you want her to go so that the shame will be on her, and then every other attention will be on her. She'll go with all of the societal shame and all of that. Meanwhile, you will then go back with, in your same society and go ahead and get married to somebody else just because you don't want to stay with this person. So we're just talking about this because a lot is going on in our society, sometimes in subtle means that we don't understand, and we just see a lot of women die. It's not necessarily that you hear that, oh, they beat this person, he died, like Osinachi did, or like Felicia, the woman we talked about, I think sometime last week, who died to, on domestic violence. So we might not see that happening, but it happens, in a very subtle manner, that sometimes you can't even, you won't even be able to know that this is it. So I just want us to take our time to talk about it and look at different forms at which domestic violence is happening, and we might not be paying attention to that. A lot of women just go to bed, and the next morning you hear that they're not there again, and then you begin to wonder what happened in between. And nobody will even tell you anything. Nobody will point accusing fingers to probably the husband or anything. But for a woman, once man die, what's thinking your husband? How you take do let alone say you go marry within the first 6 months of say your husband die. They will say that you kill her. So let's just talk about this for for the time that we have. Buki, let me start with you on this one. Looking at this story and the one I narrated, I don't know, but it's becoming a little bit frequent, in my village, where you just hear that this one, the woman go sleep, she no wake up. So it's more like, I don't want you to stay, I'm frustrating you, and yet you don't want to leave. I will just buy you so that I can just go ahead and marry the person I want to marry. I don't know if it's happening in other places, but I think I've heard of 2 cases from my village of this thing happening.
Yeah, it's a sad one, and I don't want to discuss from the angle of reusing a broom, to kill a mosquito or something, because I will have just said that when there are cases like that, one can actually investigate. But you see, there are some that is just natural death. And when you now begin to now suspect, you now put the man, you put the children, into trauma and all that. But where there are evidences, one can actually investigate. Well, I mean, when you find out that this woman has always been abused by the man and blah blah blah. I mean, yes, the police can actually come in to confirm that the death is natural or it's not natural. I know there are times that even when you are abused and you can't take it, and you are already losing faith. You're already losing faith. Your spirit is low, and all that. At times you can actually sleep and you're off, you're gone. My own discourse on it today, it will be in 2 parts. Number one, For men who do that, they're just cowards. You understand? They're not men. If you know you can't take this anymore, walk away. I mean, why would you kill somebody, or why would you even plot such such thing? You understand? Like this incident that happened, you took your child and you left the woman. Even if that woman is a witch, she's wicked, I mean, whatever it is, devil, whatever. But you still have human blood, even if the woman had done you so much harm. We know men that just walk away. The woman was wicked. You understand that? Even you as a woman say, how can a woman do this? Men, men will just naturally. I mean, I love those ones. They'll just go, move out of the home, just move. You understand why?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why? Because they don't want the death of anybody, on their hands. And it still goes back to values. Why would you allow somebody that you had slept with, you had professed to love, you understand? You allow that person to suffocate. What? In fact, when you meet your creator, how would you even defend that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Even the child that you rescued, at some point when the child, is an adult or whatever it is, you think the child will not investigate, you think nemesis will not come, you understand? And of course, it's a pity the girl that he has gone to go and marry. Who knows? In fact, that girl should know that something like that is going to happen. Like with the adage in Yoruba, you understand that we say, the passion that is there on top of Waja is waiting for the young wife. If they ever use it for the old wife, it is still there. So the young wife will still collect the cane at the appropriate time. So we need, as women, we need to begin to let our eyes shine. Let's begin to talk to ourselves. Let love not blind our sense of reasoning. Love is not supposed to blind our sense of reasoning. That is it. Because when you now begin to allow love to blind your sense of reasoning, then I begin to doubt that love. Maybe it's lost. You understand? So secondly, the other point is for the woman. You mentioned it. When you know this relationship is toxic, you understand? We are not advocating that you carry your bag and leave. No, we're not advocating that in the first instance. You understand? But when you see that these things are threatening you, you understand? And this man keeps saying, one day you will leave. One day I will kill you. One day I will be the one to kill. And you keep hearing these things. I mean, take cover. It is not the time for you to begin to stay there and stay there under religion or whatever it is. You understand? Take cover, because there is evil that is around. And then you now want to say what? With all these things that we are hearing. However, I use this to wrap up. I mean, this is the second time I'm saying that, but I mean it this time. How did we find ourselves in this situation? Because we need to begin to consider that. How do we find ourselves in this situation that marriage is so easy to work out with? Men no longer take responsibility. They don't longer love the wife that they say the wife. Something is wrong. And that's why even before you begin to say you want to marry or whatever it is, it's good for you to go for counseling. Nowadays, a whole lot of issues are coming up, that the reason why people behave like this in marriage is because of some of the traumatic experiences they've had when they are young. Yeah. And so they bring these things into the marriage. They do not know why they are behaving this way, but they just know they are behaving this way. And what we are saying is that, can you deal with that first before you even marry? And this is for the women. You understand? Understand this, man. What are the issues? So if you have to go for your proper counseling, where the ground, the baggages that you are bringing, I think it's good, because that is what this thing is saying. A whole lot of things are happening to marriages that are breaking down. People are killing themselves and all that. how did we get to this? This is somebody you said you love. So what is happening? Something is triggering you. There's something that is a trigger. So you need to deal with that thing even before you go to marriage. I hope I'm talking sense to somebody. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Buki, for your thoughts on this morning. You have actually touched on a lot of issues. All right, Susan, let's get to hear your thoughts on this, topic of discourse this morning. Let's get to hear your thoughts on this.
You've said it. We've had cases of violence on the increase, and with the advent of social media, we get to read more about it, we get to see more of it. But beyond that, just like what Madam Buki was saying, in my head I'm wondering, is it that the men or the women who stay in toxic or abusive relationships, is it because they are not loved enough at home? That is why they see the red flags and they still stick to those toxic spaces. Why don't you think you deserve better? Why don't you think that you deserve to live to stay alive? And for this story we are talking about, the woman did not even wait for the 5 years later. The moment she survived, her senses were up. She thought about it. Why would you pick a child lying beside me and you did not think to wake me up? Even as love they shock you, shine your eye. Don't let person use you. By the time the person will even seek forgiveness from God after repenting. But you are already gone. You are already gone. No repentance in the grave. Once you are dead, you are gone. How would you see? The woman reasoned fast. And she was like, you picked up a child and you did not think to wake me. And she had already filed for divorce even before the truth came out. But you will still see women who would see all of those red flags. But as an enduring wife, suffering and smiling, just to prepare people to show them that you are married and people like Susan are single, you will stay put. Even when it is threatening your happiness, threatening you mentally each day, you wake up with fear. You wake up not knowing what next he's going to do today. You wake up seeing different things that are happening. Even if you don't want a divorce, can you at least take a break and go and revisit this conversation? Because, like Madam Buki said, how do you even think of a young lady, even if the person is old, that you reached out to, professing all the love that you did to convince her to be with you? And at the end of the day, when that love is no longer forthcoming, you did not think to let her go or let him go. Because gender-based violence goes both ways. Instead, you are thinking of how to eliminate that person. Come on, where is our humanity? I don't want to bring it to religion because, yes, we have religion there, but where is our humanity? Why do you want someone else's child to pass in your hands? Women, shine your eyes. This is not the time to be so love blind that you are missing your relevance as a human being. Each day people see you, you are looking drained. You are a shadow of yourself. The spark people see in you is no longer there. Just because you want to answer a married woman. How? Make it make sense. This is just me reasoning about it. I'm telling you that once you see the red flags, please address it. And when it's not working out, take a walk. If you don't live with your legs, I don't think you'll be glad to live in a casket. That's just the truth. As harsh as that word may sound, it's the only alternative. And we've seen this happen over and over again. Please do well to live, L-E-A-V-E, to L-I-V-E. Thank you.
All right, thank you to Susan. That is a good way to actually end the show this morning. Now, whether the story is true or not, but we know that things like this actually happen. We can't move the fact that it happened, because if not that, I heard the one that happened in my village. Maybe when I see this kind of things, I will not even want to agree that things like this happen. But that one, it was, in fact, it was very close to us. So it took a lot for me to actually sit down and say, what happened? Waiting reach that extent. You don't want now. How far can we go? Well, let's not get to marry our enemies. So just because we are thinking of, the marriage life, you want to stay, you want to do this one, please. Let's not marry somebody that will end up, taking our lives just because of their own selfish interest. All right, so thank you so much, Buki, and thank you to Susan for today. We do appreciate all of your insights this morning. And do want to have a great day and enjoy the rest of the week. Tomorrow we shall be here by God's grace. Thank you, ladies.
To sponsor this program, call the number